Om Shanti. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So let's start the session. Come into the sitting posture. Keep your back, neck straight, aligned, relax, and gently close your eyes. Go into your asana. Observe your posture, your alignment. Now, take a deep, prolonged, slow inhalation, deep, prolonged, slow exhalation. Inhale and exhale with awareness. Now, prepare yourself for the 3-time I'm chanting along with Shanti. Inhale for the Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Feel the vibration, sensation. Join your both palms. Wrap your palms. Place on your eyes. Very slowly while blinking, looking at your palm. Gently open up your eyes with a great mantra. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. So, welcome to the therapy class. So in previous session, we discussed about the arthritis and the treatment for the arthritis and the bone-related problems, disc herniation, if you get any back-related issues, and any problem in your bone. So that diet you have to follow, and the simple practice that calls Sushvyam or the warm-up, practice. But actually, that is not warm-up, but we have the terms in Sanskrit. But if you don't remember the Sanskrit name, that's okay. But just make sure movement of each and every joint with the very slowly you have to move it clockwise, anti-clockwise in all the direction, flexion, extension, circumduction. These are the movements of your basically your synovial joints. So all the movement should be practiced by either it's rotation or flexion, extension, or circumduction, making the circle with your each and every joints. That is most important practice for strengthening your bones, strengthening your muscles, even ligaments, fascia, tissues, everything would be strengthened. So these practice one should you know um, do daily practice at least 30 to 40 minutes. Even before um, going for Stranga Vinyasa or Vinyasa style, you have to practice daily. It helps you to, you know, keep your body ready for that, right? So today we're gonna talk about the other problems, that is um, kapha related problems. We're gonna talk about it. So sinus and um, sinus asthma, these are the problems. Upper respiratory and lower respiratory problems. So diet for those. Upper respiratory and upper respiratory means problem related to nasal area like cold, right? Sinus. Lower respiratory problems like asthma, bronchitis, and any problem which you have with the lungs, pneumonia, COVID also related to your lungs. So these general diet you can uh, practice once your kapha go imbalance. Okay, so mostly kapha go imbalance when you are having lots of mucus in your body. So those problems today we're gonna discuss about it. So just these are the problems. Okay. Now, basically in asthma, what happened? Your air passage is narrowed down, and it's the reason behind of narrow down your passage, the windpipe. Maybe the reason of dust. You are allergic to the dust, pollen, or polluted environments, or uh, or maybe you are working in that some kind of chemical factory or somewhere. That also gonna trigger the asthma. So it more like that you are inhaling, but the pipe the pipe is blocked. Okay, so pipe is blocked. For example, if you see this pen, right? So you have this windpipe in your throat. Then if it is blocked by some dust particles or some mucus or something like that, the air would not be flowing down smoothly, and then your lungs would not be get the oxygen, and then you feel out of breath, shortening of the breath. So it can be happen in any age of group, right? Maybe it can happen in your old age, child also having the problems. So there's many types of the asthma. Then this asthma can be caused by the kapha pitta and also with the vata also. Okay, both can be triggered. If it's caused by the imbalance of the cough and pitta, then you have having the coughing, fever, wheezing. If you call if the asthma is caused by the vata imbalance, then you feel the thirst, dryness in your mouth, dry cough, dry skin, anxiety attack, and also a little bit constipation. Okay, so you have to figure out what uh, which dosha go imbalance and how you get these attack of the asthma. So first thing, in order to improvise the asthma, uh, to cure this problem, basically there is no cure. People get the inhaler lifetime. They're using the inhaler for lifetime. They even during the winter time, during the dust, during the when climate is about to change, they get the asthmatic attack, and it's not curable, okay, in the allopathic, because whole lifetime you have to take the medicine, and you have to avoid certain circumsta- circumstances where, like claustrophobic area, you should avoid it, and climbing, running, these things, so many things you have to avoid it. But in yoga therapy, there is a cure available, but yes, very strict diet one has to follow. First, Shatkarma should be introduced. So Shatkarma, I'll write it down for you guys. So I hope all of you know the Shatkarma. So Shatkarma practice, that's one has to introduce. The name of Shatkarma is Jal Neti. It's, you can Google also Jal Neti. or rather do the offline course. So we provide these courses, Shat Karma practice. We teach the student Jal Niti, then Vaman Dhoti. Okay, Jal Niti, Vaman Dhoti, and that we call Kunjal. These two practice should be done. So it's really good for the people who are having the any upper and lower respiratory problems. Okay, even in arthritis, Vaman Dhuti is very effective. What is a Vaman Dhuti? Puking. You know, puking. Everybody, we did the puking, right? So same thing you have to do with the saline water. So, but under the guidance of the yoga teacher, you cannot learn from the YouTube or something and then start practicing. You require major precaution when you practice the woman. Jalniti again under the guidance of the yoga teacher. Then you have to learn the technique. There's a lot of precaution, and then you have to teach these things, right? So Jal Niti Vaman Dhoti is very good for helping working on your improving the function of the lungs and also improving your nasal also it's cleaning your nasal cavity also, right? So these two practice this called Shat Karma. Okay, this is called Shat Karma. I'll rub it off. It's called Shat Karma. Shatkarma. Shat Karma. So after Shat Karma, these things, the asana, all the chest opening exercise should be given to them, or all the chest opening like Bhujangasana. Okay, Bhujangasana, you are opening your chest. Chakrasana, wheel posture, you are opening your chest. Then pigeon pose, you are opening your chest. Then Ustra, camel pose. All the variation of these asanas you can introduce, where every asana which required, which opening the chest, that is very good for the asthma, bronchitis also, even in the sinus. Okay, these asanas. So this Shat Karma would be practiced by all the problems related to the upper and the lower respiratory problems. Okay, there's a many reasons. So just prescribe them, okay, practice this Shat Karma. But yes, under the guidance of the yoga teacher. But they can do these asanas because you have learned these asanas. So these asanas where your chest is opening, that asana is very good for upper and lower respiratory. What happened when you open your chest? Your lungs are function to absorb more oxygen. So the capacity, you are giving more space to your lungs and then you can inhale more oxygen. And once your oxygen is reaching to your lungs area, then it gonna, all the areas of your body would be getting more oxygen because the first place lungs are getting the oxygen, right? So very much important that all the chest opening asana should be introduced. Then balancing posture also you can introduce because these people also think a lot and they get agitated, frustrated quickly. They are under the depression also. So that's why they get panic attack and then they get the problem. Even the sinus problem happen because of they think a lot or they have the poor diet also. So and they are living in the very shady environment. So because of that, also these things are taken back to back on them. So balancing our posture, you can make the sequence uh, come uh, making the fusion of the balancing posture and the chest opening, uh, asana. Then some salutation A, B also can be introduced to them. It's very effective. 99.9% muscles are activated when you perform the some salutation A plus B bar. Okay, so those would be given to them. Then breathing, for breathing. I talked about it. The 4 miraculous breathing is good for them. In breathing, they can go for again same breathing, abdominal breathing. Every time you have to start with the abdominal breathing because first you have to work on their correcting their pattern, how they are inhaling. So abdominal breathing is basically bringing, correcting the pattern of their breathing system. Abdominal breathing, thoracic breathing, yogic breathing, Nadi Shodhan breathing. These 4 are the ideal breathing. Everybody, no matter whatever dosha is imbalanced, just make start their practice with these breathing. Then after that, they can go for the Madhyam Gati Bhastrika Pranayama. So Madhyam Gati Bhastrika or Mand Gati Bhastrika. Start with the Mand Gati Bhastrika Pranayama is very ideal, along with the Mand Gati Bhastrika Pranayama. I'll write it down for you. So Bhastrika Pranayama is good for them, but very slow version, not fast version. Okay. So there is a modification of the Bhastrika Pranayama, the Mand Gati, which we call Mand Gati. It means slow, slow version of the Bhastrika Pranayama. Okay. So Mand Gati Bhastrika Pranayama should be introduced. At least 15 minutes they can practice, but when you're introducing, if they get tired, you can give the rest of the shavasana. Again, they sit, again start practicing. Again, they can go for the supine position and lying down on the mat, and then like multiple times they can have the pause. It's not like continue. They have to practice as much as their body required the rest. So Bhastrika, so 5 breathing, okay. So Bhastrika pranayam, 1 is a pranayam and 5 is a pre-practice of the pranayam. These should be given to them and at least 1 to 1.5 hour morning time and evening. Because I keep talking about it, that breathing play very important role in order to heal the body very quickly. So these breathing play very crucial role for providing the treatment. If they do more and more breathing, they this work wonderful, right? They can decode their cells and then there's a high chance they completely come out from their problems. The problems which is 20, 30 years old problem, right? That problem would be sorted out and they completely find the cure. But depend how much, how long, how deeply they are doing that practice. Then come to their meditation. Again, meditation, all types of meditation, they can go for it. But best meditation is for them is they can either do the Anapan meditation, which I taught you. Anapan meditation is good for them. Also, any form of the chanting they can use, any mantra they can chant. So best is Gayatri mantra, but if they like another mantra, they can go for it. These 2 things they can practice. Then mm, come to their diet. So now, so this is the diet. Understand even the sinus problem. Before going for the diet, I'll explain about the sinus also. So sinus is basically the area inside your nose, which like in around your face. There's a hollow space. So I'll show you the picture what it look like. Even even asthma you can. हाँ नहीं नहीं मैं ले नहीं गई So this is a picture which through that you can understand how it's look like when you got the asthma, and also I'll show you the picture of sinus. Can you see the picture, right? Picture is visible. One side is the air windpipe, which is very normal, and one is normal bronchial tube. Bronchial tube is windpipe, right, where air is passing. Then inflamed bronchial tube, where it's not giving the space to passing the air, and air would not be able to reach to the alveoli. And alveoli is the part where, in your lungs there is a many alveoli, small sac of, like small sac of balloon kind of structure. So when once the windpipe is swollen, then because of the lots of mucus start producing in your through by your windpipe. Uh, in your windpipe, there is a cilia. Cilia is like a hair kind of structure, which produce more mucus in order to take out the dust or the pollen or any kind of bacteria or infection, whatever go inside your through the air pipe. Through the mucus, it's coming out. But in asthma, what happens? Air windpipe start producing more mucus and it choke the pipe. Okay, guys, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. So this thing happened, and then there's a lack of the oxygen reach to the lungs, and then people can die out of breath. And what happened in sinus? Sinus is not killing you, but it's problem. It's create the biggest problem for you guys. So I'll show you the picture what happened in sinus. What is a sinus? So this is the sinus, okay, around your facial muscles. So one side is inflamed sinus that we call sinusitis, and one side is healthy sinus. Sinus function basically does what? It's regulate the temperature of the air. No, outside air is very cold. When you are living in the winter, you can feel it. Outside temperature is very cold, and when you inhaling, air is also cold. Then once you inhale, air pass through the sinus, and then it regulates the air and change the temperature, which is suitable for your body. That's the function of the sinus. So we have the four sinus basically: frontal sinus, you can see saphenous sinus, ethmoid sinus, and military sinus. But if you get the sinusitis, it means some mucus are stored in that. It's because of the mucus, because of infection. Whenever you get the cold, your nasal is blocked, and you feel the headache, and even feel the ear pain, pain in your ear, and the whole, the whole upper head is completely blocked. You cannot think, you cannot do anything. This happened because of bacteria infection. Mostly the mucus come out easily, but sometimes because you take the pills or certain things, it start become hardened. The mucus become hardened in your sinus, and it remain there. So it becomes hardened and it's remain there. It's not coming out easily. So your nasal remain blocked for all the season, and they don't feel. And when nasal is blocked and sinus is blocked, you feel difficulty in the breathing because you inhale from the nasal. So especially in Jalneti, when you pass the water to one nostril to the other nostril, that called Jalneti. Saline water you use that soften the mucus, and then it's taken out with the water, saline water, and it's also reduce the swelling of the your sinus, and also it's work on the infection. So that's why Vaman Dhoti and this Jalneti is very effective for upper respiratory problem also and lower respiratory problem also. So this is your sinus which is blocked, maybe because of the infection, because of the climate change, because of cold, because of there's so many factors. Your immune system is so weak, you have the infection, you have the autoimmune disorder, hay fever, or maybe asthma, respiratory tract infection, pneumonia. So sinus keep coming back to you if you have the lots other problems also. So Jalniti is working for them. Then Nasikriya, Nasya, Nasikriya. I'll write it down for you. That is also good for especially the upper respiratory problem. Nasya, Nasikriya. It's basically this is the part of the Ayurveda. So in Ayurveda, we give the Nasikriya is like using the herbal oil or uh, medicine oil for pouring that lukewarm oil into the nostril and sniffing the oil through the nostril. Okay, so that we had or under the guidance of this Nastikriya. Then steam, yes, steam you can go for it. Steam, so morning and evening. You can take the steam for 5 to 10 hours for the steam is good. Then understand other things. Asana is same practice, meditation is same. Even other problems of the kapha, even if you get the COVID problem, you're infected by the COVID virus, that's also that time also you have to work on your lungs because and most thoracic breathing, abdominal breathing, and Nadi Shodhan and the Bhastrika is work as a wonderful. These practice should be done, at least 30, 40 minutes more and more, so your lungs would become more strong, okay, capable to fight any kind of infection, viral or bacterial infection. Now come to the write it down the diet. So diet, so even I talked about the kapha related diet. So first, whenever you get the symptoms of mucus related things, it means your kapha is increased and your body start producing the mucus. And whenever any food you are having it's become the mucus in your body once kapha go imbalance. So fasting is good, but ideal kind of fasting. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be eating anything, but you can have at least black pea water. So you have to soak the black pea uh, during the night and under the water, and then um, in morning time in your breakfast time, warm it, add certain spices. Remember in kapha food, when I was talking about it, I talked about the certain spices. So ginger you can add little bit, the paste of the ginger, little bit garlic or turmeric you can add it, and then that water one should give into the when kapha go imbalance. Okay, even asthma, sinus in COVID situation, if they if they get little bit hungry, then during the attack time you have to give these things: soup, steamed vegetable soup, but try to avoid completely the cold things. They cannot have the cold things. So no rice. Okay, completely boycott the rice. Then banana, they cannot have the banana at all. Then दूध, yogurt, completely boycott. Doesn't, you don't have to give them. What they can have in the um, so steam green leafy vegetable soup, they can have it. Then they can have little bit, all the especially the green moong pulse is given. Soup of the green moong pulse is given to them during the attack time, and even before and after also. It's very nutrition. It gives the high protein to their body, which work on their immune system also, boosting their immune system. Then in fruits they can have the pomegranate, but pomegranate should be,
Can't hear.
guys, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. So yes, so they should have the pomegranate juice, but again adding, it should be, the juice should be little bit lukewarm. Add the black pepper into it and rock salt. So pomegranate juice, guava juice can be given to them. Again, adding the hot, make little bit hot, or add the hot water into the juice, and then add the black salt and black pepper. Okay, these things should be given to the when you are giving the fruits. Then they can have also, giloy. I'll write it down for you. These herbs are very good for, working on balancing the kapha. Giloy and neem. So if you get the leaf of the giloy or neem, you can just chew the leaf, uh, 7 leaves of the neem, or giloy, 4 leaves of the giloy. So that's you can have, wash it with the proper lukewarm water and then chew it. Otherwise, in market there is a tablets available of the giloy and the neem. So you can just morning you lick it. It's like keeping in your mouth. Don't chew it. It's, you have to keep in your mouth for at least 10 to 15 minutes. It's gonna dissolve. Empty stomach, one tablet morning and evening time. Okay, that's have to give into. If you don't get the fresh leaf of these things, so giloy tablets are available, neem tablets are available in the market. These should be given to them. Then also gooseberry juice with the black pepper, goose, like amla, which we call gooseberry juice, should be given. It's available in the market also. That juice with the adding the lukewarm water, 5 ml gooseberry juice, morning and evening, empty stomach, with the lukewarm water should be given to them. Then that is also good for boosting their immune system, and then they can fight with any viral infection. Okay. Then they can have basically fruits and other vegetables, but during the tap time, they have to avoid most of the things. Basically, fasting is best option. Sweetness, jaggery should be given to them. Jaggery they can keep in their mouth and lick it. It's like how the children, licking the candy. Same way they have to lick it. So these are the things one has to do, and same things which I talked about when we talked about the food for the kapha people. That thing you have to give in to when kapha go imbalance, along with these things. Any doubt to here?
Did you say jaggery?
Yeah, jaggery.
Okay.
Jaggery can be given.
Okay. For giloy and neem leaves, can they just eat it after washing it?
Yeah, leaves could be washed with the hot water, like so they would not be having any dust or any bacteria on the top. Then take
Okay.
it.
For black
Choose
tea,
properly. Yeah.
okay. For black tea, what are the spices? Ginger, turmeric, and hello.
Ginger, turmeric, black pepper. Hello, can
Black
you
pepper.
hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, black pepper,
Yeah.
ginger,
Yeah.
turmeric,
Yeah.
and also cinnamon. Cinnamon is also good for the reducing the kapha. And Dakhani mirch, have you heard about it? Dakhani mirch is like white pepper. So white pepper is very good, even along with the honey also given to them. So honey, black pepper, white pepper, these should be given to them whenever they have the attack. And even before and after, these spices should be added in their diet. But
So
once
we need to
they are having,
can we combine all these spices together?
yes, you can compile it, but make sure it's not going to increase their pitta because it's a heat generated spices. So what happened when you controlling the kapha, you might increase the pith of their body. So use in the moderation, not too much.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So tomorrow is Sunday. So enjoy your Sunday. If you have more queries, don't worry. We're gonna take on the Monday. Write it down your queries, and I'll take on the Monday class. So bye bye. Take care. Bless you guys. Time is up, and your class,
Thank
anatomy
you.
class.
Bye.
Bye bye. Om Shanti.
Bye. Thank you. Om Shanti.